What's up, guys? So a lot of you guys know that, I live in China. I'm an actor, pro wrestler, all this stuff. But did you know that I almost became a police officer? That's right. Before all this stuff I do, I wanted to be a police officer. I wanted to serve and protect the community. But it didn't happen. After my 1-year stint of college basketball, I was going to try to play college football, but had, butted with, my mom over some stuff. Then eventually I said, I'm going to the military. So I wanted to go in the military. Originally, I wanted to go into the Navy, but my ASVAB scores were low. So I just went to the Army because, they don't care. The Army and Marines, you can have low scores, they don't care. And I wanted to be, military police, MP. And that was my career goal, to be, go in the military, be a police officer in the military, and then come out and be a civilian police officer. But I didn't score high enough on my ASVAB to get the military police. They only offered me infantry. So I'm not doing infantry, so I just said, forget it, went to college. When I became old enough, 20, because at the age of 20 is when you can apply for the police department. I had applied for Atlanta Police Department. My grandfather was a police officer in the 70s and 80s in Washington, D.C. So he was a cop during the crack epidemic in D.C., so he done seen some stuff. And my cousin, he's a police officer at the Capitol. As a matter of fact, he was there, during January 6th. So, I wanted to be a police officer. It was, kind of runs in my family a little bit, but it was just something I really wanted to do. I wanted to feel like a superhero. So I applied with Atlanta Police Department. Went through the entire process. Seemed like I was, about to get there. Then I got to I don't know if it was the final. I passed the lie detector test, or what they call it, the stress voice analyzer. Then I get to the psychological test. And the guy was asking me some questions. It didn't shake me or move me at all. One, he was asking why am I trying to leave college early to do this? At the time I was, at a community college, Georgia Perimeter College, and I was studying to get my associate's degree in criminal justice. And I had one more semester left, but I was planning on leaving it early to do this. He was asking why, and I just explained to him, this is what I want to do, blah, blah, blah. Then he asked me, would I have a problem with taking a life? And I said, that would be the last option, but if it came down to protecting myself and civilians, I have no problem with that. And I thought it went well. Then about a week or two, I get something in the mail that said that I failed the psychological test. Yeah, I was dang. And I would have to pay $200 to retake it. The problem was I was a broke college student. I could not afford $200. So I just overall scrapped it. And I just went back to school and finished up my associate's degree. Fast forward to 1 year later, I'm about to apply for the Fulton County Sheriff's Department. So I'm going through the process of everything. And they needed, to put people in the academy as soon as possible. So they were about to fast track me on everything. They was going to speed me up in the process. I was ready. Then I get to the lie detector test. And I took the lie detector test. And they said I failed the lie detector test. They said I lied about a serious undetected crime such as burglary, murder, and rape. So essentially, I'm a criminal, right? Apparently I did all these things. Y'all know damn well I ain't do none of that shit. I ain't do none of that. But yeah, I failed the lie detector test. So that just shows you how inaccurate that stuff is. So after I failed the lie detector test, I was I couldn't believe it. So I spent about 4 months working security. I was like, okay, maybe, I still want to be in law enforcement or something. So I started working security for a big company called G4S. I did that for 4 months. But yeah, that was my, I guess, entry level into this type of field. And then I realized it's not what I want to do. And that's when I decided to finish college, which is what I did. which eventually got me to China. So yeah, that's the story of how I almost became a police officer. It didn't work out for me, and you know what? I'm glad it didn't, because if it did, I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't be here sharing these experiences with you guys, and the stuff that's been going on in the past few years with law enforcement and the community. Man, it's a good thing that I'm not part of it. So yeah, that's how I almost became a police officer. Sorry for the boring story, but let me know what you think. Comment down below, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and follow me on Instagram at _Uncle Money. And I'll see you next time.